And we are recording.
So in the way of introductions, is Will still here or did he leave?
He dropped off.
Okay, because I was just going to say that he's developing some of that incentivized testnet tests. And Mike, maybe can you share a little bit about your interest and engagement at this point with RChain? I've seen your name, but I don't think we personally directly met before.
Yeah, hold on a second. So, yeah, my name's Mike. I've been going to these meetings for a couple weeks. Yeah, I met one of the other collab members here in Austin, Texas, at a blockchain meetup, and he just recommended that I show up and share discussions with you guys on different things related to RChain and Substrate, which is also I noticed is a topic sometimes discussed. I've been learning more about RChain. I don't know exactly what Rnode is, but I think I have like a pretty decent understanding of RChain after learning, bits and pieces after these couple of weeks that I've been going to these meetings.
Nice, nice. So I guess right now you're not running any Rnode yet. Rnode is just the node software that's part of the blockchain. So basically you're kind of getting learning more about it, sounds like at this point in time.
Yep.
Wonderful. Did you work with any other blockchains or?
I'm working on my own sort of like low-level C++ library to help make like pretty generic decentralized applications. But I haven't really done anything at this level everyone seems interested in with RChain, which is like, smart contracts and a programming language on top of a chain like Rolang. Everything I've been working on is like pretty low level, like just peer-to-peer networking and database type stuff on the back end. So
cool. Okay. Thank you for sharing your background and what you're up to. I appreciate that.
Hey, Gary. Welcome.
Good morning, Gary.
Hey, Ralph. Mike, Steve.
Hey.
Jim.
So Gary, when are you going to start your randomized program tests?
Oh, soon. Would it be helpful at this point in time
to
start hammering the net?
Yeah. I mean, whenever you're ready to, I think right now they're still running things sequentially on Sandbox to a degree. But whenever you're ready, you should sneak your programs in and let's see what behavior comes out of that, right?
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay, wonderful. Just want to update you a little bit on, so what's happening with the Sandbox is that now that the Sandbox is up and running, the developers found that they could use a second testnet. So they are also, quote unquote, using or occupying the Sandbox for part of the time. But that's consistent with the goals we had for the Sandbox and the expectations we set up for the Sandbox, that there is no uptime expectations and that the goal is to really enable quicker feedback to the developers. So But I just wanted to let you guys know in case you get frustrated once in a while when you're trying to run something and Sandbox is not available to you or something. But NutZipper is clued into, they're maintaining a spreadsheet, the developer team, of what tests they're running where and what they're learning from it. So NutZipper is clued into it, so he should certainly be able to advise you guys or alert you guys on what to expect when and why. So I just want to let you know what I'm trying to do to alleviate the situation is with White Block, we have the ability to increase the number of nodes available to the developers or networks available to the developers. So I'm working with them to create yet another one or more test environments that the developers can directly access so that the sandbox is more readily or more fully available to the community. But don't hesitate to coordinate with NutZipper and use it anytime you want to. I think we should have through White Block another network or two in a couple of days is my expectation. And with that, if the developers are happy with that number of test nets, because what is happening, the reason they were looking for more networks or more test nets is that different teams, whatever changes they're making, they want to run through and make sure that they get the insight from that rather than one team waiting for the other team, that sort of a thing. So I'm going to try and create more networks within the White Block framework that they could use. That will free up the sandbox more for you guys. But please feel free to use it all the time now with whatever you're able to do with it.
Very good. Thank you.
NutZipper is missing. Does he have this on his calendar or not, Jim?
Yeah, NutZipper's been pretty diligent at attending all of the node-related testings and even the DApp development testing. So, yeah, I believe he was here last week. So
it should be on his calendar. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
We were just talking about you, NutZipper, as to whether you had this on your calendar or not.
Yeah, I've seen. Actually, not. I don't have this on my calendar, but I've seen the message in Discord.
Oh, okay. Jim, maybe you want to add NutZipper to your invitee list so that it gets on his calendar. And NutZipper, I just explained to them the situation with the sandbox and the spreadsheet, and was encouraging Gary to start his random program tests to update you on what happened so far.
Cool.
So, Jim, you want to go back to sharing your screen, or what do you want to do?
Jim, you're on mute.
Okay, yeah, I've been kind of out of Node running for a while, although I'm just running standalone nodes mostly. So I set my shell variable here, bootstrap, equal to the node 4 sandbox bootstrap node, and I set key equal to a private key that got assigned to me. Not sure where, but then I can do it if I do a run here. This is just the last run command that I had. And it gives me an unknown type store type. I guess we don't use that option anymore. I'll take that out. Now, don't I need a network? Oh, network test. The network ID I need is what here, Sandbox?
What network are you connecting to?
Sandbox.
Sandbox. Okay, I will tell you. You are not going to do some testing right now because development team is now using this sandbox for something.
Oh, I see.
So NutZipper, is it the case that it has to be sequential, or is that what they prefer? I was not 100% sure about that.
Actually, I think that right now it's better not to. Currently, the investigation is about. Actually, no. I think that current testing is connected with long proposed time. So if you are going to deploy and try to propose, it's actually will be helping to stress test the sandbox, to stress the sandbox even more. So now you can, I think you can do something. So I will put the in the chat the network ID.
Which chat?
In Zoom.
Oh.
Ideally, I think that people should use the Sandbox testnet channel as kind of a log stream of the research they are making. So people, I don't think that a lot of people will use the Sandbox testnet just coming out of blue. So mostly people should know each other and know what they're working on.
Okay, good idea.
So I can just say, I am starting a validator node on the Sandbox now, right?
Yeah, not okay. That's good as you wish, but my idea is just a broad comment like I'm going to. I need the kind of test, explain this test, and say I want to test some hypothesis. This is my thesis, and this I run it now, and after say that this is my findings, some kind of this. Or I just wanted to start my DApp on the Sandbox. I started it now, and if you don't want to find anything specific.
So just to clarify, so as I'm understanding it, the Sandbox testnet channel in Discord, we should use that as our communication when we want to identify what it is we want to do on the Sandbox, let everybody know, put a message in the channel when we want to start our test and so forth. So just so that everyone who's involved or who's interested in the Sandbox knows what people are doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so they can figure out if something that they are doing can conflict with others people work.
Good point.
For example, if someone just want to measure the performance and draw some graph increasing the difficulty of the code they're deploying, so he obviously don't want someone to come in and to introduce additional load if he want to do some extrapolation or stuff like that.
Okay.
I didn't clear out my. I didn't erase my what do you call it? My .rnode directory.
Yeah. By the way, Jim, what Rnode version are you running?
11.
11. Okay. So we will check right now if it will be failing on the validation of Genesis block as we saw last Thursday. Because now Sandbox is running on the dev branch.
And I have to find the where the dev file is for that.
So you wanna try with the dev file, right?
Yeah, so I'll kill this now.
Yeah.
I don't know what, reconnecting to existing network. Okay, this didn't work right because I didn't.
You found an approved block, so you have a Genesis block already in your Rnode folder.
Okay, so where do I find the .dev version of the?
Are you running a Docker or a binary?
I'm running the binary. I want the .dev version, the Debian version. I'm running on Ubuntu.
Okay, let me think. Actually, I'm not sure that there is a binary file available anywhere for the dev branch. The easiest way is to use Docker. Do you have Docker installed on your machine?
I believe so. So I do a Docker list. Docker images.
This is the image, and I will try to give you the command.
I mean, why would I still don't understand why I would want to use and have an extra level of virtualization.
Because there is no compiled version of the dev branch. In my understanding, you should pull the GitHub repo and build it to get the executable file, so you can start it. There are only release versions in the GitHub that you can download and install. Does this make sense?
I guess it makes sense. I mean, I don't.
And actually, dev branch is changing maybe several times on a day. So every time when some maybe pull request is merged, at least how I understand this, a Docker image being built and updated.
So, but we want the dev branch as of when the sandbox was started, right?
Yeah, it was started yesterday.
So we want the dev version as of yesterday, not today, right?
Yeah, if some changes, some breaking changes being introduced, so at least how I understand this, dev branch that you're running may conflict with the dev branch from which Sandbox had been started. But this is not really high probability of this occurring.
They used to have dev version listed somewhere.
Jim, you might be interested in this guide to run the Docker.
So if I I don't know. Okay. So these are the only ones that the only things that we have. We don't have development ones anymore. And I think they used to be on a different. They used to be on Pyrofex. That's where they used to be. All the versions were kept. But maybe on Thursday, when we get the developers on there, we can find out if they have somewhere the build of the latest builds of the development version.
I think Tomasz is the person.
Docker version.
I think that if we.
What do I need to do here? Docker.
Please open the link I posted in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, I mean, if you have questions for the developers, you don't need to wait until Thursday. NetZipper can go to the developer Discord and get answers hopefully sooner.
Yeah, the most simple solution is if we need binary files for dev branches, is just to ask the Thomas to build, if there are any way to build binary files along with Docker images.
Okay. And Jim, why do you need the binary files?
I just want to run, I want to run Rnode bare on the machine. I don't want to run an extra level of virtualization that we don't need.
Okay. Okay. I think if we explain that to Thomas and ask him about what's the methodology for getting that done.
I suppose I should learn Docker better. I mean, right now Docker is a pain in the butt if you want to get in there and do stuff inside the Docker image.
Yeah, but Jim, actually, if you're going to run the binary files, there's an extra level of paying, updating binary files every time you're running a node, because the binary file may have changed from your last run. And from that perspective, it's simpler to use Docker image.
Okay, so what do I want here? I want to okay, let me get back here.
I will try to prepare the command for you.
You run a standalone to connect to this existing network. Okay. Well, it's the bootstrap node here. Okay, I assigned that to $bootstrap. Okay, and Oops. All right. What happened? Okay, well, this will run. This would run it not as a validator. Rnode net not found. So the network I want is the what do you call it?
No, network is just random, I guess, just random network that Docker will create between the application and outside world. So it's not a network ID. You can keep it Rnode net.
Okay. And I don't know why the chat doesn't come up. I keep losing the chat.
Try the command that I posted in Zoom.
Yeah, the chat doesn't come up right when you're sharing your screen.
I will put it in the Discord.
Yeah, I've been putting. I'll put it in the Discord. I just putting everything there as we as it's added in the chat.
So let's see, where does this command start? There's two commands here.
The last one.
Oh yeah. Let's see here.
The
Yeah, here. Let me.
okay, I got the same error here. It says the network not found.
Yeah.
Did you create the network as?
No.
So
Okay, I see. I didn't follow this instruction. On the one hand, I don't like being spoon-fed the commands to do this, because if you weren't here to spoon-feed me the commands, I would want to be able to do it anyway. So I still get that error, Rnode net not found.
could you share your screen?
Oh. So I had Docker network create.
You created the created Rnode and the Rnode. There is a hyphen and underscore. Yeah.
And this has an underscore. I see. So I don't know. Why don't I? Okay. Probably should use a dash because that's what's in the instructions. But that's okay. We'll use the underscore.
Yeah, map size should move. Oh no, it should be here. function map size.
So why doesn't it understand it?
Network ID equal, or just put a space after network ID. Let me try.
Okay, well, there's no network ID on in the instructions here.
Actually, I believe it should be. Actually, I think you should update the Rnode dev image because you already have it on your computer. Because I tried to run this command and it is pulling on all the changes right now, so you should update.
So I need to delete the image or something like Docker delete. I don't understand.
Yeah, I will provide you with the command.
I just Docker images.
So you have a rchain Rnode image from a year ago.
So it's the same problem as if I had a .dev version that was out of date, right?
Yeah, maybe. If it is in the same place, you can just update and install it. But here you can just update the image.
I guess we need
Try
a session on how to running Docker. You know,
you can
don't see how to kill it. There's got to be a way to delete this. Remove.
Jim, I sent you the command in the Discord. See in direct messages.
Now, isn't that in the instructions?
I don't think so. It's just a way to update the Docker image.
Didn't I just create that? I don't understand. Unknown option network ID. Oh.
Yeah, it's just network. It's the same as the previous network, but this is the an option for the Rnode command. This one, yes. It was easy, right?
Not really.
Yeah. No private key.
Okay, so it's waiting for a connection. It's not getting a connection. Now, if I add a private key, I can I can kill this and add a private key, but for some reason it's not connecting.
While we're waiting for that to connect, let me ask a basic question. So I have an IBM virtual machine, and I've used that to connect to testnet. Now, to connect to Sandbox, the preferred way is using the Docker, or I should back up, is so with my virtual machine, I wasn't using a Docker, I was using the deb file and connecting. But that's testnet. But for Sandbox, it's different. We should use the Docker image. That's the preferred way. Is that what I'm understanding?
Not really. If it is easy for Thomas to put the fresh build of the dev branch every time it is published into the Docker, so you can use the fresh build of the dev branch if it is hard for you to use Docker. But right now I just can't figure out where to get the fresh build because it is only available through the source code on the dev branch.
Okay. So I'm.
Well, this isn't working, right?
Yeah, and I try to figure out why could this not work.
So if I I can bring this down.
You're running this on the VPS, right?
I what?
You're running this on the VPS, so not behind the net with the
Right.
public IP.
Yeah, it's on a virtual server on DigitalOcean.
Yeah, so public IP.
Um, that's just for the heck of it. I'm going to see what happens
Okay,
if I
real life.
run the version that I have.
Jim, I found the
Found the error.
try to add this option to your Docker command in Discord DM.
Okay. So basically, I have the same result here when I run my local node. What should I do here?
So your local binary node also doesn't work, right?
Right. Well, it seemed to stop at the same place. Waiting.
Actually, I can see that Sandbox nodes are utilizing 100% of CPU and memory, so it could be they are already unresponsive.
Okay, so maybe we can look at how that's how we look at that. If I
Yeah, I'd be interested in
how would I look to see that that's happening?
or maybe Zipper, perhaps if you share your screen, you can show us where you're seeing those metrics.
You're on mute. No, that's ever.
So as Zipper was saying, so it looks like the 100% of the computing capacity. Oh, here we go.
We can. Are you? If you're talking, that's ever. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was mute. So, did you see this resource before?
Yeah, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember how to get to that screen.
This is the link. So you can see that Sandbox Notes are pretty busy. The physical memory utilization is high, CPU load is high, so obviously nodes are doing something.
Right. Okay.
And it is expected because some test is running on this network.
Okay.
And worth mentioning that, Jim, even if the sandbox was operational right now, you couldn't connect as a validator to this network because it was restarted with the bonds file, with the default bonds file. And default bonds file has only 5 private keys in bonds as a validators. So if someone is restarting the network, you can lose your validator, or we can try. We can ask Thomas to change the default bonds file, which is preferred way, I think.
Yeah, I think we want to have a whole, have a bunch of private keys that we can use to bond to the network.
Okay, so I will ask him to add more private keys and to if he can publish fresh builds of the dev branch.
And as far as the publishing of those private keys, so we need to get access to those private keys, I believe. Where would we keep those? Where would we document that type of information?
I remember that it was just a spreadsheet in the Google Docs previously with the private keys.
Okay, so
on the test net, so we can use such.
We'll use that same document then. Okay, and
well, each person only needs one private key. I don't know if we want to make them all public, but
actually, if someone wanted to run a validator on the sandbox, he can just ask and get the keys from Jim or Steve or me.
Yeah, I think we want to keep some amount of control on there. To at least we know which set of people have access to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this.
Have it as a private document among administrators. So in the event that someone needs a private key, one of the three of us can go to that document and send that private key to that individual.
And also note in the document that who you have given it to. This way we have track of who knows what.
Right. So Jim, as far as process flow on how we're going to do that, so this would mean creating my thought is this would be a new document separate from that other document which has the list of 100 keys, a new document with keys specific for the sandbox that just the three of us administrators will have access to. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay. And if I can find that other document, I'll use the same format. Offhand, I'd have to kind of hunt for that document. I don't know if anyone has it, the link to it easily accessible. Perhaps you could paste it in the chat. Otherwise, it's kind of I'll eventually find it. I know what it looks like, but I'm just not sure where it's at.
Yeah, I guess NotZipper or whoever has access to it can private chat with Steve on that, or private chat with Jim and Steve on that. NotZipper, I have a question for you. Do you have like quick access to the spreadsheet that Kent has created to track the test networks? Can you paste it in the chat, please?
Yeah, I'll try to find it. I've put it in the Zoom chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Did somebody share a screen?
Jim, you're working on that. Is that who you want to see the screen of, Gary?
I'm not sure what we're doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So-
stepped away. I had 2 phone calls to take, but anyway, if we're not doing anything, I'm good. I'll shut up.
Yeah, that's okay. We were just kind of talking about the private keys and the sharing of the private keys. And I just put in the chat a spreadsheet that was created yesterday to track what testing is being done on what nodes. So like if you know,
Did you get cut off, Ralph? You're on mute.
did I mute myself in the middle of my sentence? I guess. I was just saying that the spreadsheet link that I put over there gives you a sense of what's going on Sandbox, like what the devs are doing on the Sandbox. So if you want to see before you run the test, this spreadsheet is where they're going to track their series of tests and results they're getting.
Thank you.
Learning that they're getting. So Nadzipur, did Sebastian's long proposed investigation complete on the Sandbox or not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, it's clear why it's taking a long time to propose if the CPU is pegged on all of them.
Oh, I see. The memory, not the memory, but the CPU seems to be the limitation at this point in time.
Actually, I don't remember that this was the case on the testnet when we had a long proposed time. So maybe it's just Sebastian doing some stuff that is loading CPU.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I think once white block opens up a few more test nets, we can should make things easier for us. What's the status of the actual testnet? The testnet is that up or not?
The actual testnet, it is experiencing a pretty high load as well,
Okay.
as I can see.
Right, so 71%, 72%.
And actually CPU usage is pretty high as well. So it started, and it actually started today. So looks like someone is running something. Maybe it's Worm, I don't know. So that's why we need the sandbox, because because no one knows what's happening and who's running what.
Right. It makes the point of that communication of when you're wanting to do something in Sandbox, just make an announcement in Discord as far as what you want to do and when you want to do it, and so everyone's kind of on the same page.
All right. Is there anything that we want to accomplish, or is this kind of the end of the session? It's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good today as far as moving forward. I didn't have anything else. Anybody else?
Yeah, we'll ask Thomas and get back with the answers.
Okay, so we're scheduled for our next testnet session Thursday at the same time we had this one. So,
right. I have just one question. In terms of announcing things in the sandbox, like you just mentioned, Steve.
yeah.
Then is one of you, either you or NotZipper or whoever, going to update this spreadsheet? Because I think the devs are looking at this spreadsheet as their log of who is going to test what where.
Okay, so that spreadsheet, the testnet current runs, historical, and queued.
Mm-hmm.
So let me take a look at this here. So okay, so in the perfect world, update the update that spreadsheet. So I'll kind of dial that in to make sure, and that's more of an administrative function. So I'll be tasked with that to do my best to keep it current.
Okay.
Right.
NotZipper, from your understanding, that should suffice for the developers to know that this is what people are planning, kind of thing.
Sorry, so maintaining some kind of spreadsheet?
No, the same spreadsheet that Kent has created. Because Kent created that spreadsheet with the view that at least everybody on the developer team and others can know what's being run where and what is planned where. Right.
Yeah, I guess it's enough.
Yeah.
If Steve will update this document.
Correct. And then this may be temporary in that if we do get a couple more test nets freed up from white block, we can move either the community to the white block so that these guys can use the sandbox, or vice versa. I mean, maybe we get the sandbox back and they use the white block. So that should get resolved in the next couple of days as to how many we're able to get from them and how soon. And so this hopefully this coordination is temporary, and we will soon get to a position where the community testnet is sort of independent of whatever the devs want to do. Okay.
Cool.
So,
Very good. Thank you.
all right. So I don't have anything else on this.
Yeah. Okay, so see ya.
Yep. Have a good day,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye now.